The stranger's true identity has not yet been disclosed in Rings of Power Season 2, but the first 3 episodes of this run virtually guarantee that the character's identity will be disclosed on the show, most likely during this outing. In the Rings of Power Season 1, Daniel Wayman's character is struck by a meteor and falls to Earth. It soon becomes apparent that he is an Astari. The stranger appears to be Gandalf, despite multiple indications to the contrary, but the Lord of the Rings series on Amazon continues to withhold his true identity. Thankfully, it doesn't appear that the Rings of Power will keep the stranger's identity a secret for very long. Furthermore, it's highly unlikely to leave the issue of his identity unresolved. There's a recurring rumor from Season 2 of the Rings of Power that the stranger's name will be revealed shortly. Though the show may surprise fans in upcoming episodes, it's highly likely that the second season will establish that he is Gandalf. The second season of the Rings of Power is set to feature the stranger confronting another Istar, but the first 3 episodes heavily emphasize the stranger's identity. More specifically, Nori Brandyfoot commits herself to naming Wayman's wizard. She makes numerous suggestions, ranging from Dodric to Andwise, but the stranger rejects them all. At some point, he tells Nori that no one can give you a name, which temporarily ends the conversation. But the emphasis on giving the stranger a name practically guarantees that we will soon find out who he really is. The character's belief that their name already belongs to them indicates that the Rings of Power Season 2 will most likely feature a mention of theirs. The character's belief that their name already belongs to them indicates that the Rings of Power Season 2 will most likely feature a mention of theirs. If he continues to have flashes of his abandoned home, it might come back to him. As the stranger sets out on this next adventure, it might also come to him, forcing him to choose between saving his Harfoot friends and facing another Istar. In the Rings of Power, the stranger is unquestionably an Istar, which restricts the kind of character he can be. In J.R.R. Tolkien's books, there are only 5 wizards: Gandalf, Saruman, Radagast, and 2 blue wizards. Gandalf appears to be the most likely stranger of all of these characters. He shares many of Gandalf the Grey's mannerisms, and has a similar appearance. The Rings of Power Season 2 highlights that the wizard needs a Gand in order to perform magic, which may eventually become part of his name. These aren't the only hints that the stranger is Gandalf. Though it seems improbable, fans of Amazon's Lord of the Rings series would be shocked if the stranger turned out to be Saruman or Radagast. That he is one of the blue wizards is the only other possibility. Given that Tolkien's writing doesn't place a lot of emphasis on these Istari, this would allow the Rings of Power some latitude in his characterization. Thankfully, the mystery surrounding the Rings of Power Season 2 will likely be resolved soon, putting an end to the ongoing discussion about Wayman's identity.